Hi, children. Welcome back. Mammy, sorry she hasn't read to y'all in a while, but I was sick for a while, and then my voice just was not real good for quite a while. So I am going to try to get back to reading to you. Parents, if you're listening, okay, children, this is for your parents, so you can have them listen here. I have had some ask why they cannot comment whenever I do the videos where I read to the children. Well, because of YouTube standards they have in trying to protect children, when I make a video that is geared toward children, there's a box I have to check off. And when I check that box off, then comments are not allowed, and that is to protect children. I know I've seen some videos where you still can comment, and that is probably because the person making the video just didn't realize that box was there, didn't see it. They overlooked it. But, you know, I want to do whatever I can to protect children, and I also want to follow YouTube's guidelines. I want to make sure that whatever I'm doing is proper. So, okay, now the children can come back and I will get on with them. So, how many of you children like trains? I love trains. When I was a little girl, I loved trains. I loved watching trains. You know, they're just so fascinating, and I really like them. Well, today we're going to read a book called The Little Red Caboose. Now, how many of you know what a caboose is? Remember, that's usually the very last car on a train. Now, do you know sometimes trains don't have cabooses? Have you ever seen that they'll go along? And I have a funny little story to tell about that. When my brother and I were little, my brothers and I were little, we lived not far from some train tracks, and we'd have to sometimes stop there. And I don't know, I guess my brother was only 3 years old, 2, 3 years old, and if the train went by and there wasn't a caboose, he would start saying, "I wanted to see the caboose, I wanted to see the caboose," and he would start to cry too. So that's just a funny little story, but let's go ahead and we'll start reading our book, The Little Red Caboose, and it's written by Marian Potter. The little red caboose always came last. First came the big black engine, puffing and chuffing. Then came the box cars. Then the oil cars, then the coal cars. Then the flat cars. Sometimes they were switched around in different ways, but the little red caboose always came last. Boys and girls waved at the big black engine. They listened to the box cars and the oil cars and the coal cars and the flat cars go clickety-clack. All right. But by the time the little red caboose came along, the boys and girls were turning away because the little red caboose always came last. "Oh, smoke," said the little red caboose. "I wish I were a flat car or a coal car or an oil car or a box car so boys and girls would wave at me. How I wish I were a big black engine puffing and chuffing way up at the front of the train. But I'm just a little old red caboose. Nobody cares for me." One day the train started up a mountain. Up went the big black engine. Up went the box cars. Up went the oil cars. Up went the coal cars. Up went the flat cars. Up went the little red caboose. Hang on tight, little caboose, called the flat car. This is a long, tall mountain, and you are the last car on the train. Don't I know it, sighed the little red caboose. Poor me. The train went slower and slower and slower. Soon it was hardly moving. It looked as if that train could not get up the mountain. Look out, little caboose, called the flat car. The train is starting to slip back down this long, tall mountain. Not if I can help it, said the little red caboose. And he slammed on his brakes, and he held tight to the tracks, and he kept that train from sliding down the mountain. Then bump! The little red caboose felt something push him from behind. It was two big black engines. They pushed the train up the top of the mountain. We couldn't have done it, said the big black engines, if it had not been for the little red caboose. Everyone cheered, and the little red caboose nearly burst with pride. Now children wave at the big black engine and all the cars. But they saved their biggest wave for the little red caboose, because the little red caboose saved the train. Yay! All right, I hope y'all enjoyed this book. It's really neat. I got it when I was on vacation. Is when I bought it at an old train depot. All right, boys and girls, y'all have a good day.